What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. This is episode 8, right? Is it episode 8?
Yeah, man. 2 months now.
Fuck. Episode 8. I'm Anthony.
I'm Jake. And this time we have some real jiu-jitsu news.
All right, guys. First up in the news, Fight to Win had a couple events this weekend. We're going to go over some of the main matches. And first up, Johnny Tama gets the win against Ethan Creliston. What you think, man?
Man, first off, this was, out of all 4 matches that we're going to talk about, to me, the most exciting.
By far.
I thought before the match happened that Johnny was going to win. My prediction was going to be that he took his back and choked him. And the way that it went was super exciting, and I kind of really liked it. So, everyone kind of knows Ethan is like a leg lock guy because he's, I guess they call him like a junior member of the Danaher Death Squad, which I guess means he has to like do the dishes after they eat lunch or something like that. I'm not quite sure what that means. I've never been a junior member of anything I've ever been a part of, but either way, you kind of think of Ethan as a leg lock guy, and Johnny was trying to tap him on the legs the entire time.
Yeah, for sure.
The fight was super close. They both had, they both had like, I thought some decent attacks, but the knee bar Johnny had looked close. He had a pretty tight heel hook, and I just thought it was badass that Johnny kind of like, oh, okay, man, the kid was kind of talking a little bit beforehand, and Johnny went right to his game and beat him there. So that was really fun to see.
All right, in the second match of that night, Cyborg went out and beat Vinicius Tritor. What you think of that one?
This one wasn't as exciting, but this went pretty much exactly how I thought it was going to go. I was surprised that Tritor didn't wrestle a little bit more.
Kind of sat down, played guard.
Yeah, I thought, maybe his best shot actually would have been to get on top. But then again, like, who really wants to wrestle with Cyborg? Like,
yeah, that's a tough.
Very few people, So great fight. Like we said, man, I'm just happy jiu-jitsu's back. Super cool to watch an up and comer and a legend scrap it out, but not the most exciting fight. And
I think it started out all right for Vinicius. He was playing guard, trying to get off a couple attacks, and then Cyborg just kind of put a pace on him that, won him the match.
Yeah, and, the way that Cyborg passes super low, always locking the body, is just going to tire anybody out. So not a whole lot of scoring, but definitely a lot of action, a fun jiu-jitsu match, chess match. And
in Sunday night number 2, the co-main event, Gabriel Amada beats Roberto Jimenez.
This one was a split decision, and I can tell why. People were split. Honestly, I thought the decision should have gone the other way. I felt that Roberto had a lot more attempts. The triangle seemed deeper. The toe hold seemed deeper. But to me, again, a really amazing fight. And I'll watch Roberto fight all the time, man. The kid's super exciting to watch. And hats off to Gabriel Almeida too, man. That kid was a savage and deserved the win.
They kept it back and forth, so it could have gone either way. I don't know if I agreed with the decision either, but I can see it. So good off on him. They put on a good fight. Yeah,
don't agree with that decision, but can't argue with it.
And the final match of the weekend, Cashinho schools AJ Agazarm.
Yes, he did. This was definitely the most one-sided of the 4.
Yeah.
And, AJ's been working with MMA a lot more.
Yeah, out of his element.
I thought it was pretty cool when he came out and said, like, he just thought it was an important thing to do. He wanted to do it. He definitely got outclassed. The thing that's crazy is, like, that dude, bro, he like cannot be finished, man. He was like deep in a choke.
Yeah, that arm bar was nasty.
Arm bar was nasty.
Dude stepped on his face to break his arm.
Yeah, it was wild. And so, I mean, anyone who thinks AJ's not like a tough dude is crazy.
Yeah.
But he was never that much of a technical jiu-jitsu fighter.
Especially in the gi. Yeah, especially in the gi.
Where Cashinho, I would say, is a highly technical jiu-jitsu fighter.
Yeah.
I was super impressed with AJ Agazarm's nunchuck routine. I actually thought that was pretty dope, bro, because I bought nunchucks before, and them shits can hurt you. Shout out that sketchy fireworks store up by Erie, Pennsylvania, where I get my nunchucks, and also where I got arrested when I was 19.
All right, guys. So I have a match today we're going to check out. A YouTube classic. and see Joe Rogan do jiu-jitsu. If you haven't seen this video, check it out. So you got old school Eddie Bravo, Joe Rogan in that fucking wild ass headgear. And the story behind this video, a MySpace kid, back when MySpace was a thing, challenged Joe Rogan to jiu-jitsu, and here they go, and Joe Rogan with the full diesel squeezle into the close guard. Jesus, just break the kid's goddamn neck. Boom, right back onto the neck. Just being a meathead about it. Now he's got like a full anaconda. Just being a fucking bully. Well, underhook. Throws in the far hook. Oh, this poor kid. Takes his back. Body triangle. Fuck, man. If it's your first day at jiu-jitsu, don't go with Joe Rogan, man. Alright. That's it for this week's review. Enjoy the rest of the show, guys.
Hey guys, UFC 249 actually happened, so we have something to talk about this week. It was an awesome card, and I want to talk about something that might have snuck past you if you didn't tune in until the main broadcast. My favorite fight was actually on the prelims and had the black belt hunter himself, Bryce Mitchell. Mitchell put on a grappling masterclass against Charles Rosa, who's a Ricardo Laborio black belt, and I want to get into what he did specifically that made his performance so incredibly dominant. Mitchell sticks to his fundamentals. Early in the rounds, he gets his takedowns and then secures his position with crossface and underhook. He stays in the 3/4 mount and keeps attempting the head and arm triangle. Every time that Rosa tries to defend or bellies down, Mitchell attempts to take his back, usually ending up in the truck where he kept attacking a twister submission. One of the few submissions in the UFC that only 2 people have done, and he has tried to do them in consecutive fights. By sticking to his jiu-jitsu game plan, Mitchell controls the fight 90% of the time. I can only think of 3 scrambles in the entire fight where Rosa was able to get out. And even at the end of round 2, Mitchell has the twister locked in and Rosa is saved by the bell. That's the only reason that he wasn't finished. I think something that's really underrated about this fight and Mitchell's performance is that he doesn't try to strike his way into finishes. He's extremely patient. He knows that blows without securing a crossface or an underhook or both will get him out of position and allow his opponent to be able to recover. So Mitchell just takes his time, smothering, always keeping position, and then raining blows in whenever he gets a chance for a clean shot. Good on you, Bryce Mitchell, for implementing this game plan against a very high-level grappler. I'm thrilled that the UFC is apparently going to give you the camo shorts that you want so bad, so best of luck to you.
In today's history section, we're going to talk about another American legend at ADCC, Dean Lister. Though the 2003 ADCC may be more known for Eddie Bravo's win over Royler Gracie, it was actually Dean Lister who truly shined. After winning the North American trials, Dean Lister competed at the 2003 ADCC. He lost in his weight class to Shanji Hibero. A stroke of luck, someone was injured, and he jumped into the Absolute. Once in the Absolute division, Dean Lister beat 4 people, submitting 3 of his opponents, including former UFC star Nate Marquardt. Before leg locks were all the rage, Dean Lister was huge on them. He submitted Saul Hibero with a knee bar in 2003. He went on to win the finals in the Absolute with a heel hook, his fastest submission of the tournament. Dean Lister came back from multiple ADCC appearances, beating Jean-Jacques in 2005 and holding one of the only submission victories over Rodolfo Vieira ever, once again with a heel hook. Thanks for checking us out again. Make sure you check out Dean Lister and especially his 2003 ADCC run.
What's up, guys? We're back with another top 5, and this one is top 5 female matchups that I would like to see go down at ADCC 2021. And can we talk about how there needs to be another weight class for women? Like maybe just one in the middle, because I am not saying that I'm the smallest person in the world. I fight at lightweight. Well, maybe not right now, but I fight at lightweight, and so do a lot of my training partners, and that would put me in the same division as Gabby Garcia. And nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. These aren't in any order. All right, hands up, 1, 2, let's go. All right, and if we're gonna go there, if we're gonna say who do you put up against Gabby Garcia, I'm gonna go ahead and say Yara Suarez, who is a new black belt. She won the absolute at Worlds last year at brown belt and was promoted later last year to black belt, and she's fire. She competes at super heavy. She has a very similar style to Natalie DeJus, and I think that she could take her on. So why not? Let's see what happens. Okay, so another matchup I'd really like to see is Maggie Grandotti versus Claudia Duval, because they're both exciting and very controlled competitors and fun to watch. But mostly I want to see that shit because I watched Maggie in that Substars thing they did this year or last year, that with the sumo stuff. I watched that beautiful beast defend an omoplata by Luisa Montera by standing up and deadlifting the girl, and it was amazing. And I'd really just kind of like to see what she can do against Claudia's omoplata, because that's her move. So that'd be sick. And my next proposed matchup is GF Team fighter Maisa Bastos versus Anna Rodriguez from Alliance. She trains at Dream Art, and I think that this would be a really good matchup because Maisa has a very good guard, and she's very, very, very clean and safe and controlled, and she makes very few mistakes. But Anna is a fresh black belt, and she's a fast passer. She does a lot of Toreando passing and X-Pass, and she's really aggressive and scrappy, and I just think it would be interesting to see what the two of them put on the table for us. So I think it would be super fun to watch Veda Toscano fight Natalie DeJus, mostly because they have very similar fighting styles and body styles. They both play a really good guard. They both have really long legs. They play a lot of spider guard. I know this is no-gi, but I'm sure there's some sort of translation for that, and they know how to figure that out because they're black belts. But no, for real, Veda just won no-gi worlds her first year at black belt. She's super exciting to watch, and I think that would be a lot of fun to see. And this was also a fan submission from my friend Laura Cook. Okay, and number one. I know I haven't been numbering them, but I do have a number one, and that goes to Anna Vieira versus Fionn Davies. And the reason for that is that they are my favorite fighters, and that's what I want to see. And this is my segment, and I think that's good enough of a reason. And this would probably happen, and this would probably go down in the new middleweight division that the ADCC is going to give to women. And yeah, or put her back up against Bia. Put her back up against the GOAT, because, I mean, you guys know why. You know what happened. Let's see that again. That's it. Thanks for watching. Aus. Aus.
What's up, guys? It's Rico, aka The Flash, aka Astro or Astrology. You guys might know me as that. Checking in with Doomrollers. I'm a purple belt and I'm from Team Wood Irvin. Some accomplishments that I have: I'm a creator of the Flash Challenge that went viral. I am multiple-time Pan Am champion, a world champion at Juvenile. Also, I'm ranked number 1 light feather at purple belt in the world, number 1. And also, I fought on the Who's Number 1 fight card, and I came out on top, maintaining my number 1 position. So those are some of my accomplishments, along with many more. Describe my style probably as like very unique to me. There's only like a handful of people who do like any of the stuff that I do for real. Like, of course, I like to bolo. I like to do lasso and mix that in with like De La Hiva, reverse De La Hiva. I have a lot of drags from a lot of places that nobody has seen yet. I got a lot of worm defenses that nobody has seen yet. So I say that I'm all around like unique. I like my style. It's crazy. I describe it as out of this world, because that's like something that you don't see a lot. Number one, definitely just get my brown belt for real. Just being able to win at a higher level, and then get more exposure, more experience, learn more. My second goal, of course, is black belt. I mean, that's number one for real, because that's part of the story. That's going to make it so much sweeter in the end. Another goal I have is I want to travel a lot more than I did last year. Just do a lot more seminars. I did a couple, but not really. I want to do a lot more seminars, just expand my exposure a lot more, because I feel like it deserves to be expanded, and I need to. Some other goals that I have, like outside of jiu-jitsu. So I got astrology, which is actually like my clothing line, and I got a lot of cool projects for that on the way. All right, so I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Whoever watches, for one, I just want to thank Doomrollers for allowing me to speak. I want to thank my parents, my teammates, definitely my coaches, the one above. He is responsible for all the ideas that I'm putting into tuition. You know what I'm saying? He's the person that's giving me all these ideas, and I'm just executing. So I just like to thank him, because he's the reason why it all happens. You guys come follow astrology, come get a hoodie. If you feel like your jiu-jitsu is out of this world, not normal, unique to you, this is the brand for you, for sure. So yeah, I just want to call all my creatives with some creative styles, not even just in jiu-jitsu, just everything. This is the brand for you. DM me if you have any questions. If you want to make a connection that could possibly benefit us in the future, make it. I'm not, because you're on a different team, I'm not against you. If you want to create, let's do that. I'm here for it. I'm here for overall well-being of everybody. I just want to see success for everybody. So even if you're on another team, if I got something that you like, come, you know what I'm saying? As long as I don't fight you. But yeah, just like if you feel like I could help you with something, I'm always here. Private lessons, those are coming soon. Content, everything's coming soon. My style will be worldwide pretty soon.
So when you first decided, like when the word came down, okay, everyone got to shut down their gym, were you instantly feeling like this was kind of trampling on your rights or holding you back? Or did you feel like they said the right things then and then the story kind of changed? Like, I guess like at the beginning, were you okay with shutting down, or instantly did it put a kind of a bad taste in your mouth?
We were just as scared as anybody else, you know?
Right, same as us, yeah.
You didn't know what to think. Especially with all the media coverage that they said, like, all these people are going to die, and, like, you know, they said, like, 1.5 million or whatever to 2 million, and then it, like, and then it jumped down to, like, 600,000. And that was, like, what Ebola got, right? Like, worldwide,
right, yeah.
You know? And then it was, like, 200,000, and it was 37,000. I'm like, well, this thing is just a big fake, you know what I mean? Like, they either blew it out of proportion and then just don't want to go back and go, okay,
right,
big, or, you know, like they decided, like, you know, it was for other reasons, and I don't want to get into conspiracies or anything like that, you know, but.
Yeah.
So now you've kind of, like, aside from just being like a well-known black belt and a guy who owns an academy, like almost accidentally jumped into like this political kind of leadership role where people are like reaching out to you, asking questions. Do you enjoy that, or do you think like, oh man, this is an unintended consequence?
So I'm a gym rat, right? Like, you guys know how it is. I like to train. I like to teach people. I like to teach kids. I like to compete. I like to lift weights. So, you know, I never saw this coming, you know?
Right.
Like, people asking me advice and like, what did you do legally? And like, you know, like all the visits from the police, and yeah, I've had to learn a lot, that's for sure. About our rights and, you know, what I can and can't do, and like saying the right thing. And it was, you know, but as far as me enjoying it, I mean, I guess it's like, it's cool to be able to help out and kind of be that person that stood up, but I didn't intend to it. I just opened up, and then it was actually a record searchlight guy like drove by as our first class was open. He saw all the cars out front, and he just swung in. He was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are open! Cool. Can I do a story?" And then after that, it just like blew up. And so it was totally unintentional for sure.
Right. Leaves like you kind of have elevated yourself now. Does that make sense? Like when the coronavirus ends, when this problem ends, you know, do you feel your perspective on the world has changed and maybe you're going to want to elevate your voice somewhere else? I'm not saying you should. I'm just curious. It's like, wow, look what talking about this thing could do. If there's somewhere else you felt like, man, maybe this is something I'm going to continue. Basically, you're going to continue with causes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I still love my job. I love, like, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
what I mean, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I
at the beginning of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, so if it comes to that, right, then that would be great. Like we had so many people reach out here. It was so dumb. You know, like, man, you should go for mayor. Like so many people behind you.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that.
No, I don't want. You know? These guys are really bad at their jobs, man, and they want to do it. I don't want that job.
No, I'm like, I'm good. You know, I don't have that sort of discipline where I'd say something bad online or say something to get me in trouble if I did that. So, but as far as, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I might be a little bit more vocal about my opinions after this for sure. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if it helps people, or if people hate, like I got hate messages like crazy, like people calling me baby killer and all this stupid shit. I'm like, what?
Right. But it's messages, right? Have you had any bad face-to-face interaction?
No, none whatsoever.
Right. And so that's the thing, man, is, you know, the public as this idea is separate from what the public actually is, right? Like this idea of the public is like everybody. But our public is just the people you run into, just the things you kind of encounter. So I was curious to see, like, even in your local community, like you go grocery shopping, ain't nobody like talking shit to you or?
Nope. No, everybody's super supportive. I mean, this is kind of a conservative city in California. You know what I mean? So people like, obviously we got called in our first class. Like the police got, somebody snitched on us. So whoever that was, I don't know.
That's the way of this new world.
Exactly. Right. Like people get off by like causing trouble for other people. You know what I mean? Yep. So that's fine, whatever. But the police have actually been super supportive. They come here, obviously giving us kind of a hard time, I guess you would say, but not like they come here and they literally say, hey, I was sent here. The health department might fine you. The health department might shut you down, might pull your business license. You might get jail time. So they literally say the same thing over and over again.
Just try to kind of scare you.
Exactly. And the other local businesses have actually tried to open, and they go to the point where they get the letter, because there's like a 3-phase thing where you get the letter from the health department, then the police visit, then something else bad happens, right? And everybody's scared of that third phase, but it's not happening. The sheriff here supports us. They said it locally, and the most frustrating part about this entire thing is people still won't open. The police come visit. They go, hey, they say the same thing probably to me, right? And they shut down because they're just scared out of their mind. And that's probably the most frustrating. Like, obviously the government's frustrating, but the most frustrating part for me personally is like, we could all be open right now. We could all have a normal, like here in Shasta County, we could have normal life, you know?
But it's almost like people fighting against it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it does come down to, even when this does end, it's going to come down to personal responsibility. Well, I mean, in my opinion, that's my opinion. You know, it's like we trust each other as jiu-jitsu guys. I own an academy in Pittsburgh. You own your school. And like, I trust all my students not to break each other's necks, not to break each other's arms, to take care of each other. In the same way, I think I can trust them not to come in with a sniffles. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, I 100% agree. Like, it's like personal accountability was thrown out the window during this entire thing.
Yeah,
right.
It's that to me has been the most frustrating part, where it's like, it's almost lost the argument. So, well, what about my grandma? It's like, well, I hope your grandma washes her hands and stays home. Like, that would be a perfect solution for your grandma.
The amount of messages and comments, bro, that I had about grandmas is insane. Like, like I don't know.
It's a cheap shot,
I didn't know so many people love their grandmas that much. Like, I love my grandma, but damn.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is everyone loves their grandma, dude. Some people got beef with their mom, you know, over like some kid shit, but everyone loves their grandma, you know. So, bro, look, I'm glad we got to talk about that, but I know you've been talking about that a lot. You've done a couple other podcasts. So, guys, if you guys are interested in hearing more about that, go look at some of the other things Tanner's done. we're stoked. We want to talk about jiu-jitsu a little bit.
Yeah.
You come from a jiu-jitsu family, right? Like, I mean, your dad is a black belt.
Yeah. So my dad's a black belt. He started in karate though.
Okay.
So.
Smart.
And so you, when you were coming up, spent some time in Brazil, right?
Yeah. So when I was 15, my dad had this genius idea. I don't know if it was a good idea, but he sent me to Brazil with Carlos Diego Ferreira. He's in the UFC now. He just beat Anthony Pettis.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
He sent me. So he came here with a friend. We met him through a mutual friend, and then he was going back. He's like, "Yeah, you want to go to Brazil and train?" I was 15, man. I'd never been on a plane. I was a virgin. Like, I didn't even cuss. Like, I was just like a super, like, conservative kid. And he's just like, "Yeah, go for 4 months." I'm like, "What in the?" So I got sent. So I was there for 4 months training. I learned how to speak Portuguese.
How long did that take you?
It took about a year and a half. You know,
you just had to find the right girl, and then it was okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So I found a girl that was 26,
hey,
so my age now, right? And she taught me a lot. Let's just say that. Not about jiu-jitsu, and So, but I probably spent a total of like 2.5 years there, like on and off.
And do you think that was like super fundamental to your training, or just like a cool thing? Okay.
It made me tough. Like the thing is about Brazilians, they're always like they're not like, especially where I went then. Like now they're super nice. Like I feel like, but back then it was just like, yeah, beat the white kid up. Beat the gringo up. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, and then so I just got really tough. Honestly, they didn't show me anything.
Do you think that almost like some of those dudes knew that they had that reputation? Like, man, these fools in America, they got to come here and like, we just got to rough them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they knew they had to uphold it. And you wonder if almost like they didn't want to. They're like, oh, fuck, man, this other pink guy, I got to go beat his ass. And like, just want to do jiu-jitsu instead, but you got like a reputation you got to hold.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so that just made me tough. But then when I went to Cabrinas as a brown belt, I think I was 17, 18. Then like I learned a lot there.
And who gave you your brown belt? Did Cabrinha give you the brown belt, or you had it before?
My dad gave me my brown belt. So I went there as a brown belt, and then Cabrinha gave me my black belt.
Okay.
What's something that you said you got tough in Brazil, or it made you tough? What's something like you learned from Cabrinha that you kind of took with you, to now?
I mean, the guy is disciplined, right? I mean, we didn't get along very well. At the end, right? But but the guy is disciplined. The guy's obviously a savage, right? He's got a great way, like how to drill moves or specific train. As far as like anything I took from him, his sit-up guard was like next to none. Like his sit-up guard is like, Lucas Lepre is the only one I've seen do sit-up guard as well as Cabrinha.
Very good.
So that's how I won Brown Belt Worlds, was sit-up guard. That's all I did. And so I think that was probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. And since you left, and now it's you and your brother, and you guys changed the name of the gym, right? Before it was Amazonas Jiu-Jitsu, and now it's Rice Brothers, right? Yeah,
so we actually opened a school with Carlos Diego Ferreira.
Okay.
And so that's why we called it Amazonas, is because he was from Manaus, right? So I was like, okay. But then he did something shady and just kind of left, and didn't give us any warning. So I was like, all right, whatever. Typical Brazilian thing to do. But he actually,
it's like,
cool. He reached out and apologized to my dad.
Later.
My dad was opening the gym. And he's like, hey, guys, I really appreciate you guys like taking me in, because he lived with us for like a year and a half. And then so he called and apologized and told us like, hey, we appreciate you. So which is good. I mean, he's doing great now, obviously. So
no bad feelings.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
And so, how's the gym doing? One thing that we always like to do on this, we always like try to feature like an up and comer, right? You got who you got at your gym that like you feel everyone should be keeping their eyes on?
Well, I have two. Mario Alvarado. He is like he won Pans, Europeans, and he got second absolute. He lost to Mikael Gaval at Blue Juvenile. He's killing it. He just came back from an injury, but he's 16, but he's like one of my best training partners besides my brother. You know, and he's gonna blow up for sure. And then Arjuna Brown, he just won the Copa Podio, the Orange League, all submissions. And he's on another level too. So
yeah, that's what's up, man. So make sure you guys check those guys out. We'll try to maybe find their little Instagrams and leave some links for you or whatever. Yeah. So, man, obviously tournaments are going to be gone for a while, but it looks like some super fights are coming back, some fight to win stuff's coming back. You've been contacted at all? You looking to get into any of that stuff?
Yeah, so I fight Felipe Andrew on the 30th of this month.
Shit. Nice. Nice. Yeah. That's what's up. And what promotions are doing that one?
Fight to Win.
Man, they're jumping right back in, huh?
Yeah, I love Seth. Like, the guy's like, the guy is just, you know, he's going to do his thing regardless.
That's it. He's going to do what he wants. And
nobody's going to stop that guy. So
that's what's up. So, bro, do you see, like, what if you had to, like, say what kind of style your gym, like, does your gym put out a certain style of jiu-jitsu, or do you try to, like, with your students, try to bring out their style? Like, try to add to what they're doing, or does your school kind of, like, we all pass this way? And
yeah, I mean, so for some dumb reason, like, my those two kids that I told you about, they're notoriously good at, bear bowling. Like, they just kill everybody with that. I don't like berimbolo. So, like, but for some reason, I know a lot about it. I study because they wanted to learn it, right? And they, so I study to also learn for myself. But
right,
I have to pass it on to them and make them better. So, so I think probably I just kind of help out, like Arjuna, he's good at worm, like super good at worm and bolo. Mario's good at like pressure passing and bolo, So I think I just kind of help out with whatever they kind of fall in the niche of. Every week we change it up. Like, we might do worm all week. We might do Delahiva. We might do X guard. We might, do club passing. So whatever people kind of like stick with,
right?
And then we kind of just branch off of that,
right? And keep adding to it. Isn't it crazy now?
There's no like system about it, right?
Right.
You can't really put a system on it. It's
right.
whatever they kind of latch onto and start doing in training, then you kind of build off of that.
Right. That is the art part of it. To me, that's what I always thought. Like, that's what makes it like the art. You know what I mean? If you put it to a system and everyone does it the same, you lose the style. You lose like the creative parts, Yeah.
Well, it's like karate, right?
Right. Exactly.
Karate's great. I mean, like I said, my dad did karate for a long time. And, but it's like that. It would just be all the same thing.
Right.
You can't do too many things differently. You could do them faster than the other guy, and that's about it.
Right. Did he put you in karate and your brother and stuff when you were little?
No,
or you guys straight jiu-jitsu?
No. Straight jiu-jitsu. So it was actually kind of the way it started here in Shasta County. UFC 1 was the year I was born, right? That's when it first happened. And then my dad was in the back of his hardware store, and he was hitting pads, and he had just watched UFC 1, so him and his buddies were like just beating the crap out of each other on these old like mats and cardboard in the back of the hardware store. And this purple belt, John Dill, comes in, and he had been training down at the Gracie School in Valencia, I think it was. Yeah, Valencia. And he comes walking in, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" They're just like doing stupid shit on the ground. And then obviously this little purple belt guy comes in and just wrecks everyone, right? Yeah. And that's how it all started. And then after that, they trained like three to 5 times a day or 3 to 5 times a week for 9 years,
Man, isn't it crazy to think in like 5 years, people aren't going to have those jiu-jitsu stories? Like, those kind of stories are just going to be gone. Like, how'd you start jiu-jitsu? Like, I drove to the shopping mall next to the yogurt place and walked into the jiu-jitsu spot, and there it is. And like, and that's still cool. I mean, like, I'm stoked that jiu-jitsu got to that point because I'm 35, so I still have like those times and I have 14 years of jiu-jitsu. So times where you're like, man, to see a purple belt was like insane. You know what I mean? Like, I never, we had one purple belt at our gym, and that dude could have like, he was allowed to flirt with your girlfriend right in front of you. You know what I mean? Because we were so scared of him,
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
For sure.
So, bro, let's say, tournaments come back. You going to make another run at trying to get a world championship in the federation, or you going to focus more on the super fight? Yeah, okay. So that one's still.
I mean, I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do just be the first American to win absolute. That's always what I wanted to do. But it's, you know, obviously that's a big dream. I understand that. You heard that here first. I've never actually told anybody that, but
there you go.
That's been my dream. Like, that's why I've like lifted a lot of weights and like focused on gaining weight, because obviously you can't be like a middle heavy in there like wrecking people. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, it's been a long time since those days, like solo winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't happen no more.
Yeah, and so I think that's the main goal. When I hit like, you know, 33, 34, then I'll start going, okay, this is, you know, maybe I
do some Masters tournaments.
Yeah, at least I tried, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm going to focus on for the next
what's up.
Decade or so.
All right, man. Sick. You don't have to answer this one. But let's say you make it there, like in your head, your mind's eye, you're there, finals of the absolute. Who's against you? Like, who do you see it? Like, if you close your eyes, you're like, it's going to be this guy.
I would say, well, Bushesha has to be one of them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or who would be the next one? I think it would be badass to fight like Keenan, you know, for it.
So USA, right? USA.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that would be like the most historical moment, I think. And then after that, honestly, I would just stop.
Right.
You know, like if I made it there, I'm like, listen, like I'm gonna run my gym, I'm gonna live my life, and you know, I made history. I'm out. So
That's
I don't want to do super fights. I don't want to do anything.
Cool.
You know. So
cool. Well, Tanner, bro, I really appreciate your time, man. We don't want to take up too much more of your day. We know you're back to running your business, which is great, man. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Congrats to your whole crew. If you ever need anything in Pittsburgh, man, you got us. Link us up, and we'll help you out. And
appreciate it.
We wish the best for you, bro. Anthony, you got anything else you want to say?
No, thanks, man. We really appreciate it.
No problem. This was really fun, guys. Appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, if you have any sponsors or anything you want to shout out, feel free to take this time.
Armbar Soap Company, Gameness, Leo Optics, Cryotherapy, and I think that's about it.
All right, guys. Thanks, Tanner, for coming on. Thanks, Rico. Check them out. Again, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to follow us. I'm Anthony.
I'm Jake. Roll forever.
Forever free.
Oof.